Good morning, chat. My name is Penbu, the programming, puzzle gaming, and music making VTuber on Linux, and today we are going back on the website. It's been actually it hasn't been that long since we last worked on this, but we continue to not release this. It's been, I think we started working on this in 2023, soon after I debuted, and we're still working on it. I mean, these things are never done, but you know, at least I should. We're getting close to being able to be on parity with the current site, so there it is. So hello everyone, Dragdoon, welcome in. This is a name I haven't seen in a while. Dragdoon here is somebody I met at a convention. Let me give you a shout out here. Yeah, thanks for coming by, and yeah, happy lurking. All right, so. What we're working on today is this. On the current website, it's under projects, portfolio, right? Okay. So yeah, what we have right now is this on the current website. Obviously, it doesn't look so great. A few streams ago, we turned it into this, but now the task is to make all of the stuff that's in here, so in the individual pages like this, which we do have. The current site is built in Markdown, using Zola as the static site generator. So we have a bunch of Markdown files. It would be very convenient if we could just take those Markdown files and port them over to the new site, which is what we started doing last time, which is this. I mean, this ended up being not half Markdown and half HTML, but okay, whatever. Most of it is there. Yeah, but the way I implemented this was a bit odd. Because it means then I'd have to, for every page, I'd have to make a page.sbx and page.ts, and that's kind of annoying to do, especially since most of these are mostly the same, which means we do want to try to minimize the duplication, and SvelteKit does have a way of doing that. Joel, stream title. Let me see, because I thought I did change it. Ooh, Twitch, please. Maybe that's on me. But yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Let me change that now. 539, welcome in. Okay, it should be changed now. I'm gonna have to fix that in the VOD. But yeah, so we're working in SvelteKit. We added a Markdown system last stream. Implemented in a bit of a weird way, but this time we're going to try to rip out some of it, maybe not a whole lot. Yeah, rip out some of it and then try to implement it in a more conventional way. Because what a lot of people do, and I don't have any examples handy right now, is that they use the dynamic imports. So instead of using this import syntax, they use await imports, say, I don't know, plus page.spx, like this. And then this gets assigned to some sort of variable, which you can destructure, like this. Like that. And so, because this is a string and this is run at runtime, we can actually change the string to be something else. So for example, we have, if we have, say, we'll get to it, but if we have, say, a variable, let's say path, like that, and then we can make this something like, oh, I said SVG, I meant SVX. We can do something like path dot SVX, like that. So that's the plan here. Because we do have a way to get this, and we do have a way to do this, And so instead of making a page.ts and a page.svx for every one of the paths we do, and a folder to contain all those, then all we have to do is make one of these page.ts's, and then put in a bunch of SVX files that are named the slug that we want. So this should be a little bit simpler, a little bit easier to maintain, and then we'll go from there. Think you start out? All right. Yeah, no problem. And one of these days I should drop by one of your streams. It's just I find Twitch can sometimes be a bit of a blind spot for me in terms of notifications. But maybe one of these days. Okay. Did I actually need to? Actually, it doesn't matter. This is fine. So, we're looking at Svelte kit, specifically how it handles the path thing, because we had... I'm going to open a new tab here. Water and source routes, footer, header, right? This is what we did for the, what do you call it? For the 404 page, we have page.ts here. We have an error 404. Error.svelte here as well. But what we can do is we can do the same thing under here. So music, and we're going to make a new directory called this. It's going to be path. So same thing as we had before. So this says to SvelteKit that expect a variable string over here. And then we're going to have a page.ts as well. And we're just going to... We're probably going to need a page.svelte as well here, but I haven't quite looked at it yet. So we're going to go look at the SvelteKit docs and then see what we have here. So under routing, this is what we're looking at. Not routing. We're looking at advanced routing? REST parameters? Yeah, this is what we're looking for. So we have this. We already had our 404. We have optional parameters. Matching a route. Const match param is apple orange. We don't want that. Page equals fruit. Ah. Okay, so apparently you can make defaults. It's possible for multiple routes to match a given path. For example, each of these routes would match foo-abc. SvelteKit needs to know which route is being requested to do so. It sorts them according to the following rules. The more specific routes have higher priority. Parameters with matchers are higher priority than those without. Optional and rest parameters are ignored unless they are the final part of the route, in which case they are treated with lowest priority. In other words, this is treated equivalently to this for the purpose of sorting. Ties are resolved alphabetically. So there is a question that I have, is that because we have the catch-all 404 page, where we have this, and then we have underneath here music path this, what happens if we have a path that doesn't exist? How can we get it to render this 404 page instead of having to deal with it here? So that's something we have to figure out later. Assuming it doesn't already do it for us. Which it probably won't. 1, 2's layout groups. Okay, we're not doing that. That's fine. With the following parameters being available to the page, we have org repo branch file, which actually we probably don't want this. We don't want rest parameters, so we're gonna not do that. we actually only want path slug here, I guess. Yeah, slug probably makes sense. And then we do the plus page.ts here. And in that case, we still have the same problem where this would still end up possibly matching something that doesn't exist. But we'll see. And so from here, go ahead and copy this, paste it in here because that's more or less what we need anyway. So where does it get this data from? Events, event dot something. By the way, I don't think I mentioned it, but this is a work session, so if you'd like to use this time to be productive yourself, please feel free to do so. This work sessions are meant more for productivity than learning, but if you get something out of this, then great. But if you do have any questions during the stream, I'd be happy to answer them, so feel free to just ask. Okay, we're going to try to find this thing. It should be in here somewhere where it talks about the page.ts remote functions. Ooh, this is new. I'm going to have to look at that some other time. Page options. We're not looking at. Loading data. The 4-page svelte components can be run. We often need to get some data. This is done by defining load functions. Page.svelte file can have a sibling page.js file or export to load function, the return value of which is available to the page via the data prop. Right, yes, okay, data prop from here, okay, so we know that one. So from here, params, so we need to see the load events, because I think this is where we get the data from. Load function of page.js file runs both on the server and the browser unless combined with this. If your load function should always run on the server because it uses private environment variables, for example, or accesses a database, then it will go into page server.js instead, which I don't think we need to. More realistic version of your blog post load function that only runs on the server and pulls data from the database. We don't care. Layout data. You can also load data via layout.js or layout.server. We are not looking at layouts today, or at least right now. Page.data. Page.svelte component in each layout component above it has access to its own data plus the data from all of its parents. In some cases, we might need the opposite of parent layout, might need access. Again, we did this in other places. Universal versus server, it's fine. URL data, routes, contains the name of the current route directory relative to source routes. We're not looking at that. Params. Params is derived from URL path name route ID. Given a route ID of A, B, C, and URL path name of this, params object will look like this. So I think params is actually what we want because we do need the B and the C in this case. So we are looking at params. And then we have const slug is equal slug from params. Now we could destructure it directly in here. This feels a little bit clearer, I think, because this can be a little bit more standard. But const slug equals params, and then we have try and then catch error something something. Actually, what if we don't do that? What if we just do const we need to make this async, probably. Const page equals import slug.svx. I should probably be looking at the NSFW docs, actually. Let's see if this is the way that they do it. And then... Alright, let's look at how other people do it. Dinner time, welcome in. JavaScript, yes. Actually, we're using TypeScript today. It's just so we have some types. And using it with Svelte, and specifically Svelte Kit as our UI library. Framework. Svelte Kit is a framework. Alright, let's see how other people do this. Because we're looking specifically for how they import the layouts here. It's probably going to be in layout TS, not layout TS. It's going to be in here. Page.svelte. Oh, they're literally just importing a thing. Okay. Which is not really what we want. We want a dynamic import. But that also means that we can just do this. So we'll find out what happens if it doesn't exist. So from the page, we get the metadata from here. That's the end of time. Welcome in on the Twitch side. I like Svelte. Used to hackathon project with Svelte with friends a few times. Yeah. I worked professionally with React, and I really didn't like it. But I am enjoying Svelte. Actually, I wonder if I have. Do I have this here? No. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. Let me do that over on Twitch as well. I can copy your name. Yeah, Xenotime here is a fellow STEM VTuber. Although I don't think he's streamed in a while. Yeah, he... sorry, you change your pronouns now. They. I think you go by they. They do... science and engineering. Does it count? Does it fall under engineering? That kind of stuff, yeah. It's been a while. Basically, coming back soonish with a big video. Yeah, looking forward to that. Alright, slug.svx. Alright, so we're going to hope that this just works, and we'll find out what happens when it doesn't exist. Because I expect when it doesn't exist, this is supposed to error out. Or throw an exception of some sort. Property metadata does not exist on because I need to await this thing. Metadata is defined but never used because we got rid of it. Sloppy imports. It's fine as a Svelte Kit thing. I now have now I actually have to finish a big video because the silly YouTube changed their music licensing rules. Or did they? I haven't heard anything. Okay, so assuming this should just work. But we need to make a couple of changes here. We're going to add in. We're going to copy over one of the current ones. So we had to make it through looking back. The one after that, I think, is in your life. I mean, this isn't sorted by any. Oh, actually, what is this even sorted by? Mountain? It can't be a mountain. Mountain came afterwards. I'm gonna say in your life came next. Content, portfolio, in your life. It doesn't actually matter. We're gonna port over all these anyway. And then this goes to source, routes, footer, header, music, slug. And then this is going to be in your... So I'm just going to go ahead and copy it in there. We can change it in a bit. You know, CD into here. And then we're going to move in your life from MD to SVX. This, by the way, means the last parameter on the command, or sorry, last argument on the command line. So if you ever have something like this, it's very easy to just do that. Now you have to be careful though, because if you do completion, if you do tab completion, I think this will actually get overridden. So this only works if you haven't done any tab completion yet. I didn't know that trick actually. Yeah, it might be a bash specific thing, but if you're using bash, it's handy. I use it sometimes where I do. Hold on, do I have this as an alias? Make ch deer. No, I think this might actually be. Oh, it is. Okay, it is a function. Yeah. So I have this this function here, make deer. Then some directory, and I assume the last one is the one that I want to cd into, and so then I cd into the $_. Very handy. Okay, so well now with that in place, this should just work. Made the exact same alias. Yeah. The number of times you do make deer and then cd, it just makes sense to do it. Okay. And then actually, while we're doing that, we may as well make it... It actually took me a while before I made it. I think it was only a few years ago that I made it. But I've been on Linux for over 10 now. I don't know why it took me so long to do. Routes, footer, header... music, page.svelte, we can add it to here. I do want to change this because I do want text, and then so I want title, and then I want subtitle. But we can do that later. In your life, piano solo, I think is what I called this. Footer, header, music, piano solo version. Gone ahead to sleep. Good luck with this. All right. Well, thanks for dropping by, and have a good rest. In your life, piano solo, and the reason I have this as piano solo, and maybe I shouldn't. It's because I had expected that the possibility that we might end up making a different arrangement of it some other time. But do I even have... Hold on, do I even have a thing for this? Pictures, album, art, in your life piano solo. I do, okay. So, this might just work. It'll definitely show up here. I was gonna say, it definitely will show up here. That's assuming that I had uploaded the cover art to begin with. But I did not. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and upload that. V2... Did I put it in here? Okay, I've been putting it here. So in your life piano solo, because it has a slash. Nice. Okay. There it is. There it is. So it does show up here now. Then we go here and we have a 500 error because of course it doesn't work the first time. Image element should have an alt attribute, that's fine. But that's not the issue here. Invalid import slug.svx variable imports cannot import their own directory, place imports in a separate directory, or make the import file name more specific. I am inside this directory. I'm not importing the current directory. Alright, but if that's what you want to do, fine. Can I just do this? Will this just work? Probably not. And yeah, okay. All right, fine. We'll do that. Make dear pages. We'll do it that way. Fine. $500 because it's still unknown variable dynamic imports this. Cannot find module in your life piano solo.svx imported from this. No, reload. Unknown variable dynamic imports this. But it's there, it exists, right? It exists, it's right here, the last pages, it's right there. And you know how to import SVX because I told you how to do it. There is a loader for it. Alright, NSFW blog. People have done this. People have done this. So I just have to look at what we have here. Posts. I guess that's what people do. They put in a posts thing. Which, sure. Post slash slug. Page.svelte. Page data. Right. Generic components. Page.ts. This is where the thing is, and this is where we have import meta glob. Oh no. I don't want to do that. No. Shouldn't need to do that. Because this imports everything. You don't want everything. That sounds like a performance issue. Modules. Okay, just looking at what this is though. Modules is an object containing the path and the resolver. Do we actually have to resolve this thing? Oh, you know what? That's why. That's why this isn't too bad, because what happens is no, there's no way this runs on the browser too. No, this has got to be a page.server.ts. So that doesn't actually give you the contents until you say await match resolver here. I don't like this. We're gonna look at something else. Imports. await import params.slug.md, which is exactly what we did. Hello? Move pages, and we're gonna move this up by 1. So we're gonna have this up 1. So we're in music, and then we go to pages. Then we have this, which is actually maybe a little bit problematic. I kind of don't want to do that. I think there's a reason they put it outside. Because what happens is it allows you to do something like this. Or I mean, I guess theoretically it would allow you to do something like that. Okay, what else is wrong here? OBS? OBS had disconnected briefly. I think we're probably okay now. So unknown variable dynamic import this. We're gonna look this up. Svelte kits. I don't think Svelte plus the bundler currently supports dynamically generated paths. Really? No, I'm pretty sure this is fixed now. Because we see it. We saw it somewhere. Bundlers cannot know what to import since card is not statically analyzable. Svelte can't do anything from here, therefore closing this. Also not sure why. Oh. Well, this was one of the things I was afraid of, actually, because if it didn't know... Alright. I guess this means we actually do have to do this. Which means this probably has to be .server.ts or whatever. Man. So we're gonna move pages back. Actually, no, this is fine. We can keep pages there. Pages slash. I am sticking to SVX, so this should be fine. Import meta.glob is that. And then or const path equal that. We probably don't need this. We can probably just... I'm going to go with a happy path for now. I wonder actually if... Wait a minute. Do that again. We're gonna do this, and then it reload, and it doesn't work. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna import everything, and then we're going to... modules slug, which actually this might not work because I don't know what this has. All right, let's have a look at what this is. Metadata is not defined because of course it isn't. That's fine. We're just going to do this. We're going to define metadata as an object. That's fine. You can type error. Missing page.svelte component for routes. Which we do have to do. Source routes, footers, header, music, slug, page.svelte. So it knows what to render. I'm just going to put something random in here for now. And so we have this. Actually, we don't even need anything random in there. We can just have blank. It'll render layouts. So that's fine. But I need to know what modules it has in here. So it has this. Because of course it does. Const each path is equal to slug, and it's going to return pages slash slug.svx. And so that means we can do page path star like this. So it's going to be a glob there. And that way that we only have to change this once. And so that means we can also do modules, page path, params, or slug, like so. Which I realize we're shadowing it here, but also I don't know if I care enough. So now we have the resolver, and now we just have to resolve it. Const metadata equals await module slug resolver, and then now we should have something that's proper here. Cannot assign to slug because it is a constant. I have a space there. Slug is a string. Shouldn't really care. Unsafe use of optional chaining. Property resolver does not exist on type promise unknown. Because I need to promise unknown. Hold on. Where am I waiting here? This is promise unknown? Why is this promise unknown? Okay, so let match is equal to some sort of object. Const path resolver of this if slug from path is equal to params.slug. Slug from path is I'm assuming it gets it from this, which is fine. Is equal to params.slug. Match is equal to path this resolver this. Okay, that makes sense. No, we don't do that. We don't need this. Why does it even do this? Do we need this? Does this need to know what the path is? Does it do .this or whatever on this? That's possible. In which case, we just do this and hope it works. Property and metadata does not exist on unknown, that's fine. Expected expected comma somewhere. And instead got... Oh, now we're getting a fancy 500. RCST, promise all, we don't even get to see where that is. Params, but it shouldn't because this is all the way up here. Did I miss a... Oh, no, I didn't. Each path is this. Actually, we can do... We do this. Function. Each path. Put that there. Just so you can do it once and then just leave it like that. And now we actually don't have the issue of it shadowing anything either. Oh, but that's fine. Import.meta.clob is this. Expected comma and it got EOF. Am I missing something? Okay, I'm still getting this error, which means that something somewhere is not correct. So these line up. This lines up, this lines up, that lines up. That correctly lines up to that. This lines up to here, this lines up to that. Const modules is equal to this. Too many comments. Set or ale disable buffer. Just gonna clean that up a little bit. So this is an arrow function that has an expression return. So it's that. Async this. An arrow function of that. And return that. Why do I have it in this form? Usually... Oh, whatever. Oh, I have it in this form because of this. Because of the function... So we can have the whole function type here. Normally, I prefer to use full function declarations. But I think we found out that unless I break this apart, which I kind of don't want to do... it's easier to just use the what do you call it, the assignment form instead of the declaration form. Okay, I'm gonna clear this. Run dev again. We're still going to have an issue because of this, which I don't understand, because expected that and got that. So what if we got rid of this? But where? Export const load. This? Is that your issue? Does anyone spot a bug here? Because I'm not seeing it. I haven't touched this. This is still intact. Const load, page load equals async this, and I'm pretty sure this is proper syntax. Page path is that. Is that the issue? It can't be the issue. Okay. We're just going to start removing things one by one until we get... Okay, there's definitely something wrong here. Clearly. Because we removed the entire thing. Okay, there's something wrong here. Is it this? That's that. Import.meta.glob. It's probably not a thing that... but import is supposed to be okay. Move. And we do this whole dance here. .server.ts. I mean, I was saying that we needed to do this on the server side only. So this makes sense. Except it doesn't. Do we just not have meta.glob in this version? Import.meta.glob. What is this? It's a Vite feature. Vite supports importing multiple modules from the file system via the special import.meta.glob function. The above will be transformed into the following of modules. Okay, hold on. So I don't need this. Or no, maybe I do need this. Because the bundler otherwise doesn't know what the... What is it? Yeah, the bundler otherwise doesn't know what pages are available to it. So we need to do this so that it knows what's there. You can then iterate over the keys of the module's object to access the corresponding modules. So you call it, and then you get this, which we await, so that's fine. Match files are by default lazy loaded via dynamic imports and will be split into separate chunks during build. If we'd rather import all the modules directly, which we don't want to do, we can do eager.true. Then combine eager. It's even possible to have tree shaking enabled for those modules. Custom queries, space path. Is it because... No, it isn't. This is literally just here. Okay. What else do we have here? Oh, you know what it is? I probably can't do this. I probably actually have to give it a proper path here so that it doesn't get transformed. Which is a little bit unfortunate. I think I have to do this because it's special syntax and it's not actually being run as a thing. Too bad. That's probably it. That is probably it. No, I still want this one removed, and I want this one out. And what's wrong with you? Cannot read properties of undefined reading title. Because this doesn't exist. Post.metadata.publish, it should be here. Cons page, console.log, debug page. We'll see what's in here. Default. You also have a default render. We should have data in here. SVX, please. You're supposed to render your you're supposed to render the what do you call it? The is it not supposed to give me everything? Do I actually have to? Where's the result here? So anyway, what MD specs is supposed to give me a metadata object containing the front matter. However, it seems that this probably isn't giving me everything. So I may need to pass in something to get that. Note that this is only featured on web or a standard glob pattern tree like import specifiers. Glob matching is done via tiny globby, that's fine. You should also be aware that arguments in the import metadata or meta glob must be passed as literals. You cannot use variables or expressions in them, which is what we just found out. That's fine. Note that variables only represent file names one level deep. File is foo/bar, the import fail. More advanced usage to this. These rules are enforced to prevent accidentally importing files that are not intended to be bundled. Custom queries. They need named imports. It's possible to only import paths of the modules with the import options. When combined with eager, it's even possible to have tree shaking enabled for those modules. Isn't this supposed to give me everything, or is it actually just give me the Is it actually just giving me the default? MDN dynamic imports. I actually don't know how dynamic imports work with the regular ES version. Options with import attributes. Return value. If module fetching loading fails for any reason. Drinking America, welcome in. Seeing this beat thing makes me want to time travel back to Express.js. I kind of remember. Well, Express, isn't that the router? Yeah, it's the router. I think it's the router. It's been a very long time since I've used this thing. But yeah. It might still be, if I need a router, I might still reach for this. I don't know if there's been, sorry, if I need a router and the thing that I'm using doesn't come with one, I might still consider this one. But I don't know. I haven't really kept up with the latest advancements in router technologies. I just remember when it was part of the mean stack, but it wasn't even a web dev at the time. Yeah, mean as in, what was it? Mongo, Express, Angular, and Node. I think that was mean. Yeah, I remember when that was a thing. Having to dabble a tiny bit with jQuery Mobile would not recommend AngularJS instead. Well, yeah, I guess it would have been AngularJS at the time, not Angular. Angular is still kicking. AngularJS, I think I had a project back when I was still working on a web dev shop that was using AngularJS. It was a legacy application, of course. They were trying to get rid of it. Microsoft tier rebrand. Import attributes. I don't think this is... No, I think they might have... Oh yeah, no, globs is a completely separate function, so it doesn't actually matter anyway. I never had to write a custom directive nor do scope transclusion, so I don't know if I ever used AngularJS for real. Yeah, fair. I don't actually know how to use AngularJS or Angular. I've dabbled a little bit because I've had to work in the code base for a bit, but without actually knowing how to, like, I didn't look at any... I don't know if I'd say I didn't look at any docs, but I didn't look at any docs to understand how to write Angular, if that makes sense. I went in there figuring it, because I don't think I had to write anything, I just had to debug it to find out what the cause of the bug is. And then we actually ended up going into a... I don't think I ended up having to touch any of the Angular stuff. So there were two parts to this this project. There was an Angular component, or sorry, the site was an... I'm going to snooze this ad here. There was the Angular shell, and then inside were components written in Riot.js. But the Riot.js was written in a weird way where it was written in Riot.js, but the life cycle and the way you would use the components, there was a whole ton of custom stuff on top that that made it seem like... that made it act a little bit more like React. So the Riot.js docs, for anyone using that, was kind of useless. Riot.js is the thing. I think it was Riot 3 at the time. But yeah, this thing's a little bit more niche, a little bit more old. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but it was a thing. And it apparently still is a little bit of a thing. But yeah, we had a bunch of custom stuff on top of it to make it work like React. I would not call that necessarily a good idea, but it was there. And so we had that, and then the thing that I was debugging was in the Riot components that was no longer maintained, and I was the only one. It was old enough that I was the only one who knew how any of it worked anymore, because I had previously worked on this project, and then everyone who worked on it left. And so yeah, it was a thing. And now I don't think there's anyone left there who knows how the Riot component works. So hopefully they don't have to do anything with it anymore. Or if they do, hopefully they can figure it out. But there's definitely a lot of... If they do have to work with it again, I think they'd have to sink a bunch of cycles on it. Everyone's seen this. Yeah, I hadn't seen it until that workplace. So this would have been back in I want to say 17. Yeah, probably around 2017, where we use this a lot. Maybe 2015, but I think it's 2017. There was also another one that, in 2015 that I was introduced to, Aurelia.js. Or, yeah, I guess it's just Aurelia. I'm gonna post this in here too. And so the tech lead that was working on this one had written a POC with this for one of our for the rewrite of one of our UIs, and I think it might have been old enough to be Aurelia 1, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it was definitely a choice, I think, to use this. I don't think we ever pushed anything with this to production, but it was used in a POC. But yeah, all of these front-end frameworks are all basically the same anyway. Aurelia is a competitor to Angular 2, actually. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't really looked up into these very much. But yeah, I haven't heard anything of it lately, so whether it's dead or not, I'm not sure. I mean, clearly the site's still up. I assume people are still using it, but it's definitely not one of the big players. And you said earlier, at least it wasn't Elm. I've heard of Elm. I feel like I don't really have much of an opinion on it. Because it was, I recall it being a language that, what was it? It's a language that compiles down in JavaScript or something. Oh, is this like is this like CoffeeScript? This reminds me a bit of CoffeeScript. (2016). That's obvious Haskell inspiration. Yeah, I can see that too. Elm programming language. Because yeah, influenced by Haskell, Standard ML, OCaml, F#. Truly a versioning that has no commitment. Went from 0.9 to 2, and it still doesn't have a stable version. Hold on, how are you past the 0 versions if you don't already have a stable version? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I suppose if you stick to alphas and whatnot, sure. Okay, Elm is purely functional. Yeah, so I guess it basically is Haskell but JavaScript. Or Haskell but web. I guess that makes sense. And that was CoffeeScript, which was which actually reminded me more of Python than Haskell, but I suppose it did have maybe not Python, it was something else, but it does say it was influenced by Haskell here. I did not like CoffeeScript. I'm totally distracting with VTalks. No, don't worry about it. This is fine. Might need to just make myself productive instead of solitude driving. The way I put it, I think, is that if I really wanted to get this website out, so I would have just done it. Which is true, but also not true. But yeah, no, distractions are good. I like talking about this kind of stuff. I just never talk about it unprompted. So it's good to have these. But anyway, we found out that this has to be literal. And then we're looking at this, and I think we need to make sure that this is... So we're looking at this. And we need to figure out why this doesn't give us the... or why this doesn't resolve to the named imports. So we actually, okay, so we care about default and we care about metadata. I don't think we care about anything else. Glob import, we do this. Match files, eager true, that's fine, this is fine, negative pattern named imports. Import. We need both though. Set import to default to import the default import. Can we import everything? Can we import all of them? Because it gives us a default import. And I would have assumed that... Okay, hold on. if we do this, and then we say in your life piano solo SVX, right? What does this give us? Does it give us a metadata thing? It should. I would expect it to. It gives an internal error. Cannot read properties of undefined reading title because metadata doesn't exist. Okay. Probably because it's only giving us the default export, which means we need to do this. Options with import attributes. Which actually doesn't matter in our case because I don't think this type JSON. Yeah, no, this is new stuff. MD specs, are you working properly? Because this should give us everything, and then we have the default export as yeah, no, it should just give us everything. If you're destructuring the imported module namespace object, you must rename the default key because default is a reserved word. So it's supposed to give us everything, and MD specs is just not giving us everything. Post.metadata.publish, but clearly it's supposed to. It gives us... Oh! This is user error, hold up. This has been correct this whole time. This part has been correct this whole time. You know what's wrong here? I still have the toml front matter. Which I do want to change later. Back to toml, but for now this needs to be this needs to be YAML. Okay. Did I forget something? Am I missing something? Metadata is not defined. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So now we no longer have issues with this. Defaults. Render. Title headings, render. Page. We're gonna go call this page. And then inside of page.svelte, we have a script lang equals TypeScript, or lang equals TS. I really wish they would put aliases for these. Alright, gonna go get some groceries. Alright, have fun. But in the meantime, we have const data update data render page is equal to props. Actually, no, this is from data dollar props. I think it's just dollar props, right? Yeah, dollar props. Okay. Data is equal to this. Data dot page dot render. Because if the page exists, we should have a render. It's page doesn't exist, then well, we're stuck. Component render is no longer valid in Svelte 5. Because it's just a function now. Oh no! There's a different thing that we have to do. Or properties identify as components. Let's just go look at this again. Because there's a different thing now. Because okay, I didn't realize the render portion of that was because it was a Svelte component, but this makes sense. So instead we use mount. If you're using Svelte without Svelte key, you'll likely have main jest, which you need to adjust. So we have to do this. Mount and hydrate have the exact same API. For on, for sets, destroy, stopgap solution, you can use create class component. Actually, no, we don't need to do any of this. Because what we can do is const page equals data.page like this. And then we can do page this. There we go. That's what you're looking for. Now we just need to change a couple of things and then we're good to go. Alright. Sure. Set FT equals Markdown. So we'll look at the old one here. Classicals heading text release March this. We're gonna want to follow the same thing here. So heading text as title, released this, which we should really change to be. Actually, no. This is the published date. No. This is June 13, 2025. Yeah. We can fix that later. So far we just need to port everything over and then we can fix things later. And then we change the downloads to this. And we have links also that. Where's links? Yeah, like this. Okay. So everything else should be the same. Data.headings.links.id, which doesn't exist because why? So we can get rid of this now. Links ID, text ID. Oh, right, because no. I'll hold up. I have data. I have data here. It's all right. Okay. It doesn't exist because I didn't put the script tag in here. The script tag allows me to grab stuff out of the components. So this is that gets there, that gets there. This is backwards. So this is one of the things that we're gonna need to fix, because what we have here is we have the front matter going up to page.ts, which then goes into here and then goes back down into here, which is not really what we want. We want things to flow in one direction, if possible. So we're gonna change that. Okay. What is wrong with you? Because this works. This works on looking back, I think. That works. So it definitely... Oh, no, it works because we have... right. There are some subtle differences between how we made this and how we made this. Because this is imported by making it a page.svx, and then this is imported with a dynamic import, which is not what we want. Does mean we gotta get rid of this, probably. Actually, no, because we need to do data. We need to forward over data here. And then now we should be able to get it. We're going here, we're going here, then we get this, which is correct. And so now we have this, and we have that. Which we're also going to have to do something with this. I mean, maybe we don't have a page of table of contents. Especially since it's that short. But so far this works, so I am okay with that. And then we just port over all the other stuff. And we just make those changes. Okay, but for now, add P. This is good enough to commit. Get rm in your life, get as dots, and then also slash pages. One thing I am a little bit concerned about again is if we do pages slash in your life piano solo.svx. Alright, we don't want this. We don't want that. So it might be, we might need to move it out actually. Which is why I think they put it out there. What we can do is we have pages and then plus page.svx. We can, or yeah, page.ts, we can have it redirect up by 1. Or we can have it 404. Okay, well, but what happens if we do this? If there's no thing here. Oh, hold on, we need to commit first. Git add -p, not -p, git status. Git reset pages slash in your life.piano solo. Git commit. Use dynamic imports for... Maybe we should just move everything over now. That would make sense, wouldn't it? We can move... No, okay, we do this first. We use dynamic imports for Markdown page inclusion. So I think we'll probably end up doing is, if we need Markdown again, we'll probably take this. Oh, we can get rid of that. We're also going to get rid of... No, I guess we can't get rid of this now, because this has to be literal. If it's going to have to be literal, then I guess we just don't need that. Just put that in here. That's fine. Yeah, at least you can see this, right? You can see that. So amend that, put that in there. Oh, but we can't use expressions, so this is... I think we have to build one of these every time, for every path where we want one of these anyway. So, alright. Well, we'll get there when we get there. So we await modules this. If it exists, then great. If it doesn't, if page... If not page, then we error out. Where is my 404? Source, routes, footer, header, path, page.ts. We do this. Import error. Import error. If not page, then error. 404 not found. We get a 500 because then we return. Error, expected that but found cannot destructure property default of intermediate value as it is undefined. Right. Const module equals this. Then we do if not module. And the error 404 not found, otherwise we continue on. And then we return this stuff. Oh, it doesn't use it. How do we pass control over to the 404 page? Svelte kits. This throws an exception Svelte kit catches, causing it to set the response code 404 and render an error.svelte component, where page.error is the object provided as the second argument to error. Error object. Expected errors. You got post, if not post, error 404, message not found, return post. This throws an exception that Svelte kit catches, causing it to set the response code to this, where page.error is the object provided as the second argument to error. Oh, it's probably a good thing to do, actually. After state was added to Svelte kit 2.12 using the early version of stores instead. It's fine. Extra properties, code, needed unexpected errors, rendering errors. Same applies. Responses, type safety, further readings. I don't know why there isn't a whole... Because the way that you would do this is to have a plus error.svelte components everywhere. The default error page is somewhat bland. We can customize it by creating a routes errors.svelte. Oh. Oh, I see. Maybe we need to move that up. Maybe we need to move that up. Because we currently have it in... We currently have it in here. Footer, header, path. Because it's over here. No. Maybe what we need is to move it to here. Error.svelte. Source routes error svelte components. Is this going to be okay? I hope this is going to be okay. I mean, it is. It is, but also I think we actually do need it in the inside of the inside of layouts. So maybe we do actually need it here. There we go. That's what we want. Move error page up to templates level, to layouts level, so that it applies to every error under this using this layout. Might be too long. Move error up to layout level. Moving the error page up to the layout level causes it to apply to every error using this layout. Okay, that's what you want there. And then now we can go ahead and add these in. Handle 404, handle non-existent pages under /music. I feel like I need to extract this into a thing, because this is going to happen everywhere. This is going to happen in a lot of places. I'm actually surprised that SvelteKit doesn't have something already, because this should be pretty common, shouldn't it? Anyway, now we can finally do this. Add pages status git commit. Add in your life piano solo over. Okay. So now we can just continue adding a bunch of stuff over. But before that, I actually want to move... I think I want to move over the... Right, yeah. So we probably want to move over some of the other pages so that they're all consistent and we don't have pages in various different formats, because right now we have under here we have 2U, which is a complete svelte thing here, which kind of don't want. And then we have make it through, which is the same thing. Also just big svelte components, which we can turn into Markdown. And then we have looking back, which is Markdown, but set up as if it were a svelte page, which this should be pretty easy to move over. That's fine. We're gonna go ahead and do that first. Move looking back page.svx to pages / looking back.svx. So that should just work. We're gonna go ahead and remove looking back. We don't need any of that stuff. And hey, look at that, it just works. Presumably. Status, git commits, convert looking back page to new SVX infrastructure. It's new dynamic SVX import system. Sure, sure. It feels kind of weird, but okay. And now we can go ahead and cover the other ones. Oh, okay, this is nice. No, I don't actually have to do anything with that, so that's good. I do want to try, before we move the other stuff over, I do want to try getting Tommel working again. Because I would prefer to use Tommel. Actually, hold on. Tommel, I need to know if you can do arbitrarily nested. I don't think you can. YAML will allow us to do arbitrarily nested objects, which is useful for this stuff here. Title metadata.title, and then we can just do metadata.headings. I don't know if you can do that in Tommel. Keys, photo keys, dotted keys. Oh, you can do dots, okay. Allows for grouping similar properties together. JSON len will give you that, which is good. That's what we want anyway. Finding multiple keys multiple times invalid. Spare keys and quoted keys are equivalent. As long as the key hasn't been directly defined, you may still write to it As long as the key hasn't been directly defined, you may still write to it and two names within it. This makes the key fruit into a table. And you're going to add this. The following is invalid. You can't do that. That's fine. Defining dotted keys out of order is discouraged. Sure. Bare keys can be composed of only ASCII integers. It is possible to write dotted keys that look like floats but are two-part dotted keys. Don't do this. That's a good reason to, and you probably don't. String. Multi-line basic strings. Literal strings. Integer. Floats. You can do arrays, right? Actually, we don't actually care about arrays, so. Arrays are ordered values surrounded by square brackets. White space is ignored. And they have objects like these. Arrays can span multiple lines. A table, or hash tables, dictionaries, or collections of key value pairs. It is defined by headers and square brackets on a line by themselves. You can tell headers apart from arrays because arrays are only ever values. Under that, and until the next header or EOF, are the key values of that table. Key value pairs within tables are not guaranteed to be in any specific order. Naming rules for tables are the same as for keys. JSON land, this would give you the following instructions: dog, taterman, type, name. White space around the key is ignored, however the best practice is not to use extraneous white space. Indentation is treated as white space and ignored. You don't need to specify all the super tables. You don't want to. Toml knows how to do it for you. Okay, so what I'm getting at is here is we should be able to do what we want. So we have basically a headings.links table, which will do ID text, and headings.downloads table, which do ID and text. Okay, we can do that. So we go back into here. We go back into the not the big config, the svelte config. MD specs. Return toml.parse front matter. Do we even have toml here still? Did I get rid of that? Package.json. Rep toml. Okay. So I did keep this in here, which means we can just use it. We're going to try this again. So under ND specs, we have marker. Marker is equal to plus. Actually, wait a minute. Get log dash p. Toml. Can we just do this? Git reverts this thing. Revert the revert. Easy. Already type is missing in type that's fine, I think. So then the experiment is, can we actually change this to be toml front matter? In which case, if we can, it'll make it a lot easier to just change or to move things, because our front matter in the original is already toml. So it'd be nice if we could just keep it as is. So now we are inside of pages. And looking back.svx. I need to set a file type association in Vim for this, so I don't have to keep doing ft equals markdown. Okay, well, with any luck, that should just work. Probably won't because it's the first time. Oh, there it is. Error while processing this. Expect no good object. This is the issue that we were running into last time. And it's entirely possible that we might not be able to fix this. As much as I would have liked to. This toml.parse for some reason is not giving us the proper expected stuff. Preprocessing this expected node got object, yes. Console.log debug. toml.parse front matter. Object, null prototype. Data, title, data. No, it's in there. Expected node got object. From what? From what? Formatter, messages.push, parsing error on this. Toml parse, front matter. You know, front matter parse this, sure. And then when you change it to error while processing expected, no, maybe somebody has this before. Test error doing that. Got object typically occurs when a JavaScript object is being used in a control. I know that. I'm looking specifically for SVX. vProcess and SvelteKit triggers preprocessor dependency SAS not found using SCSS. That's not what we need. I have a suspicion that toml might be harder to get in here than MD Svex toml svelte kits. Nobody's using toml. Are you using toml? Probably not. Not in there. Alright, fine. Fine. I guess we don't revert that. Would have been nice. Would have been nice. Diff. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need this. I should be able to do this without any issues. Convert looking back. Okay, so we're back here. We no longer have Tommel, so we're gonna have to convert everything to YAML, which kind of sucks, but it's fine. Tommel, I think, is a better format than YAML, but at least for front matter, it doesn't matter too much. So we're going to go ahead and then copy over pages, CP, website Zolas, content, portfolio, and then to you. And also make it through and then copy them over here. Now we're going to go ahead and change things so that these are YAML metadata. Alright, this one already is YAML. We're going to YAML metadata. And also to include this stuff. I'm going to need a date formatter here because this would be nice to have as from here. H2 from links. Now I know this is going to break down later because I have things that are not this. But for now this is going to be fine. Downloads. Everything else there should just work. Just double checking there wasn't anything here that I needed. To you, page.svelte. So I don't think there was anything new here. I think I just ported it over by itself. Yeah, this looks like it's all the same. So that should be that, and then I can remove RMR. Oh, YouTube chats. Are you okay? I think we're good. RMR to you. So we're gonna get rid of this. It's in Git, so if we need to get it back, we can get it back. I said we can get it back. Move. Because we want this to be .svx. There we go. This looks correct. And these should actually be dates. These should be dates. Or in time tags, or but we can fix that later. I also need to fix the rendering of these headers, because before we switched over to Svelte 5, these actually were a different font, and now they're the wrong fonts, and I'm not quite sure what went wrong there. But later. I'm going to go ahead and move make it through, turn that SVX like so. Maybe we do this now. Vim file type association. Actually, I might already have something in my Vim.rc for this. Syntax highlighting. Not for that. Extension association. Vim extension set file type, because we're going to be doing this for a little bit. Auto cmd buff new file buff read. I think this is probably it. Yeah, this will work. This the one that we want. In which case, do this. Put that in here. Recognize .svx files as Markdown. We're gonna go ahead and copy that and paste it here so that we have it. Firstly Plus, welcome in. Are you coding with no LSP? Big respect. Yeah. I don't think I have an LSP hooked up to this, so it's just Vim. Vim's autocomplete is generally good enough, I guess, if you know your stuff well enough. But yeah, I generally don't really work with autocomplete very much. But yeah, welcome in. And then furthermore, I guess I haven't actually used AI for any, or I don't use any AI coding assistants either. So it's all just by hand. Because I figured, why? If I'm going to type out a prompt, I may as well just write the thing. It's going to take about the same amount of time anyway. And at least I've gone and thought about the lines that I've written. Okay, where was I? Right. Okay, so we were doing this. We were doing the auto CMD thing, so we can get SVX as Markdown when we load in Vim. And so now we can take this and then just do the same thing over here. Class 1 heading, and then this is going to be that. And so that's those two. Then we can go ahead and remove, make it through, and then just make sure it still works. Quick question: I graduate in a year and kind of want to build a portfolio, and I don't know if I should choose to go ASP.NET or Express for my backend. If you have some advice, it would be a big help. I think it depends on what you want your portfolio to be and what your what kind of things you want to showcase. To be honest, if you don't need anything too fancy, you can just get away with a static site generator, write everything in Markdown and whatnot. If you do want a little bit fancy, then choose whatever you're most comfortable with. But yeah, if you look for, you also want to think about where you want to host it. If you're not using just a pure static site generator with no backend, so no backend, GitHub Pages is actually a good host for that. With the backend, you can use something like Cloudflare Pages. And I know Express actually. No, I don't think. Do they? Cloudflare Pages Express, or because I know Cloudflare Pages has Node. Sort of, kind of. CB, not like just a website for the question where jobs at. Sort of bad English. No worries. I mean, no, but even a CB though, right? Okay. Wait, hold on. No, but a CB, maybe I'm a little bit outdated, but I recognize a CB as just like a piece of paper. Or if it's digital, then you basically have just a website for it. But even then, right? If it's just a website, if all you're doing is showing text, then you don't really need a backend for it. But if you're talking about what do you want to put on your CV, then and you want to try to learn something to put on your CV, then I think it really depends on what your goal is, what you want to get into. Is Express or is ASP.NET going to work? Going to further you in that goal? Yeah, that depends on what you want to do. I think it would, if you had to pick one. Is ASP.NET outdated now? I'm not sure. I don't think it'd be wrong necessarily to pick one, or to choose one over the other. If you feel like you should learn ASP.NET, then you should go for that. If you like Express, then you should go for that. And just as long as you can show that you're flexible and you can pick up the other one, or learn both, then yeah, just go for that. Do people still use ASP? ASP.NET feels like the more outdated one, but it is possible that it is still being used. Because nowadays I feel like web dev gets done in full stack web dev tends to be done either in all JS, so that would be going for Express. Although, as we talked about earlier, yeah, no, Express is still used, I think. Or I've also had places use Java, say for the backend, which means something else. What do they use? Spring? I think they use Spring for that. But yeah, it depends. With ASP.NET, I think you end up using C# or something, which would be pretty close to Java. What did you do for your first job? For my very first job, I was a webmaster. I was maintaining a couple of WordPress sites. Actually, no, it was Joomla at the time. But then we transitioned a little bit over to WordPress for a couple of sites. My first professional job was a co-op job. I did third level tech support, so I was handling emails and handling networks and virtual machines and supporting the employees over the phone and sometimes in person as well. Slept with that. And then after that, I got into to more development-focused things. So I've worked with PHP, I've worked with Java, I've worked with JavaScript and React and other web technologies like that. So I've been around. Nowadays, I quit my tech job last year, and now I'm doing this full time. It's not, I don't know. There's certainly not making anywhere close to what I was making before, but I do enjoy this more, even if I'm not making. Actually, I'm hardly making anything. But so if any of you would like to support me, I do have a tip jar, and you can throw stuff there. It's not working. Does that work? Is it donate? I don't think it's donate. Let me go find that actually, because That should be working. I'm not sure why. Stream elements. Over on YouTube, I think the link should be in the description. I don't know why this isn't working. Actually, for Twitch, the link should be in the About panels too. I'm gonna send this over there. So that's the one for Twitch. And then find the one for YouTube. Because there are different links. And then this is the one for YouTube. I'm gonna have to fix that command later. But yeah, any of you would like to throw some monetary support my way would be greatly appreciated, but of course, no pressure at all. I think, yeah, I am doing this full time. As much as it doesn't feel like it sometimes. But yeah, my last job I was working with, I was a tech lead with overseeing a couple of projects, mostly React based. Although at that point, I did introduce Svelte into one of the projects because it felt like a good fit, and I was recently just learning how to get Svelte, and it was, I think the dev who was assigned to that did end up enjoying it, and it did feel like the right technology to go for in that case. Because we needed something small and fast, because it was going to be a component library that was going to be embedded in someone else's site, or in other people's sites in general. So we didn't want to go with something as heavy as React. And with the Svelte kits, you could turn them into web components if you wanted to, which was advantageous for our use case. Okay. So I think now we have all these ones, we can go ahead and put in the rest of them, because we do have a few more pages to go through. I can add a convert existing music pages to new MD system. Learn Laravel and PHP just to find out there are 2 jobs in our country. That's why I'm asking the beginning questions. I see. Yeah, I remember. Did I ever? I don't think I ever learned Laravel. I did use PHP. It was PHP 5, or was it 5? Was it 8? I think it might have been 5 at the time. So yeah, my PHP knowledge is pretty outdated. I don't think we ended up using Laravel. We used what was it? PHP template engine. We definitely used. Was it Twig? I think it might have been Twig. It might have been Symfony. This feels familiar. Which I find kind of funny, because PHP was built to be a templating engine, and then people build templating engines on top of PHP. What's the point? I mean, obviously the point is because people found deficiencies in PHP's templating capabilities, probably because it was basically an entire language, and sometimes you don't want that for a templating engine. Because it would be good if your templates weren't Turing complete. Make sure that they actually finish. But yeah, there it is. Maybe one of these days I'll go back to PHP and write something. I used to write my what I use for Node now what I use Node for now, I used to use PHP for. So scripts that were more complicated, that were more complicated than what you'd put in a shell script, I used to write in PHP, which is kind of odd, but at the time it was the only other language that I knew that worked well as a scripting language. But now I know Node, so I write them in Node. But I should really learn Python or something, because writing things in Node isn't it works, but it does feel a little bit odd doing that on as a system script, because Python and Perl are the more common languages to do that in. But yeah, I think if you know Laravel, you shouldn't have too many problems with ASP.NET or with Express. You should have fairly similar concepts. Okay. The Twitch ad is coming in. I will let that one run. Should be about a minute and a half. In the meantime, we're going to move over some of the other stuff. CP pages, CP... let's see what we have in here. HMS Luminary, which is going to require some extra changes. Mountain. No, actually no. One step back is going to require extra changes. I kind of know all of them because the colleges can't choose. Yeah, fair. I think... Oh, I don't know if you can hear this. I'll wait until after ads are done. Okay, so we're going to look at all these pages and see if there's anything here that we need to change. Oh, I don't. Okay, because I thought this was a header, but I guess it isn't. I thought I did turn this into a header. Is it not? No, it isn't. Okay. Can you hear you? Okay, okay. I'll just say it then. Yeah, if you feel like you know them well enough to put on a resume or on a CV, and you know both of them, I think you should just put both of them. And then you can choose whichever one you like better or you think is going to be more useful in the jobs that you're looking for. Okay, so we also have this, which I do want to add to the other ones. Because the album art stuff came in afterwards. Make It Through is already there. Play the HMS Luminary has 2 YouTube videos, but that's already covered, so that's fine. And we have another one of these. That should also be fine. Tracklist. Tracklist is the one that's that we're gonna get caught on, because that doesn't exist in all the other ones. Okay, so before we move everything else over, I think this might be a good time to try to get the headings thing working. What do you use for backend? Sorry for constant questions, curious. I actually don't do a whole lot of backends. The one that this technically does have a backend, the project we're working on now, but I'm using SvelteKit, which means that it relies on Node and it's the backend and front end are kind of merged into one project, and SvelteKit is the one that's that more or less separates them out. Actually, the same code runs on both the front end and the back end, with a couple of exceptions. So I don't really have to think about it. But yeah, generally these days, it's a little bit easier to just do everything in Node and in JavaScript, because then it means I can share types and files and functions and whatnot. And also because of frameworks like SvelteKit, where it already has the back end and the front end, and I can just put it in. But yeah, I typically don't really have projects that require backends. Come to think of it, yeah, in all my time doing personal projects and programming, I just generally don't have a back end. That's interesting. And in this particular case, SvelteKit has its own router, so I don't have to put in anything like Express. But if I were to use something that didn't have a router, I would probably consider Express. Like Next.js, yeah, it's pretty similar, and all in one package like that. So Next.js would be for React, and then SvelteKit is like Next.js but for Svelte. I need to close some tabs. I can't find anything anymore. So here, I think is what we're looking for, where we have headings. Oh no, it's fine. Metadata.title, metadata.headings. That's what we want. Metadata.headings, like this. Which means then we need to go into here. Headings dot links dot id. Austin, thanks for your help. Good, got to go. Good luck on. Good luck to you. Hope it works out. All right, yeah. Good luck to you as well. Thanks for dropping by. If any of you would, this is probably a good time to chill it. If anyone would like to join the Discord, we do have can't speak today. We do have a Discord. We do have a channel for programming, which this falls under. So if you ever have any questions about programming or would like to talk about stuff happening in the programming sphere, that is the place to go. Right, we have YAML. Headings, which means we need to do it this way. Headings, link, ID, and text. And the thing I don't like about YAML is that it's indentation based. And this can get messy. This can get a little bit confusing depending on what you're indenting. In this case, it's not too bad because all we're working with is objects. But I've had some cases where the indentation has been a little bit confusing to work with. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. Links. Downloads. ID downloads. Text is downloads. Like that. And then that should just work. And then we copy this over to all the other SVX files. Oh, this is TOML. Did I not check this? That should not be TOML, that should be YAML. I'm impressed. What happened? Oh, wait a minute. This is TOML. That shouldn't be working. Oh, it doesn't work. Right. Okay. Right, because I don't actually use any of this stuff here. No, but I do... What? Hold up. This doesn't make any sense. Does it actually just support TOML out of the box? Can I just use this? Have I been... messing around in the config here would just, and it just works. Hold on, I have to try this. Because apparently this might just work. Oh no, this is the live site, of course. Of course. Something wrong here? Why is that for cannot read properties of undefined reading title? Yes, of course you can't. Because it was... What is that? What is that? Unexpected token. Try again. Because you have invalid YAML syntax. Okay, there we go. That's what you want. And then we copy this into here, and this should just work, and we do have that. Okay, great. Then actually, we don't need data anymore. We just do headings.downloads.id like this. And then get rid of this because we don't need that data. I should probably have breadcrumbs, shouldn't I? Well, so far this looks correct. H2 ID links. Okay, great. So there is that. And then... yeah, we do for make it through. Or do it again for looking back and get rid of this. Data dot, and we will replace with nothing GC. So I can see what it's doing. I am feeling the need for breadcrumbs. And we do this again for to you. Okay, very good. I'm gonna go ahead and commit that. -p. Something there looked a little bit weird. Was it, it was this one, yes, okay. Git commit, dynamically. And actually this solves a problem that I had before, because what happened was I would define the headings inside of page.ts, which is separated from the actual page.svelte, where the actual page data was. And so having that data separated was not good for maintainability. So this brings everything back into the single page and the single file, and this makes it a whole lot better. Define headings in the Markdown files. heading data in the Markdown files. I think what I would want to do afterwards is, because there is a MD specs, there is a plugin that you can use. I don't remember if I wrote this down anywhere. It probably did somewhere. MD specs. Markdown. I don't remember which one it was. MD specs itself, because this uses MDX for sveltes. Hold on. What does it use? Plugin. Docs. Plugin. Remark. Remark is the thing. So one of these has a thing where you can use, we can have classes and stuff. Or add an IDs, which is useful for us. Slug custom ID. One of these was MDX aware, which is the kind of thing that we want. The source HTML is as follows. Rate annotate would be this. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is something we'd want. What is this? See, I don't actually want to have automatic slugs to be made. So why don't do that? Would be the easier way to do it though. But I would still, I think, want to be able to do something like headings.links.text, and then have, I don't know, whatever syntax you have for that would be nice. Rehype plugin adds. Hold on, what is rehype versus remark? HTML processor powered by thing. Okay, so that's for HTML. ID, custom header ID. That's that, and then there's also custom headings like this. Mermaid, yes. Avoid the reference link ID. Having footnotes might be nice. MDX. Yeah, okay, so alternative syntax. The custom ID notation does not work MDX because files treat MDX because MDX treats that as JSX syntax, causing parsing error. Can use one of these alternatives, or use this syntax. So I think this would be nice. This would be nice to have if it works. I'd have to give it a shot. We might give it a shot later, because this is pretty useful. But I would also like the ability to have classes. If this were crammed down, you'd be able to do it, but it's not crammed down. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and save this for later, because I think this would be useful to have. Because the whole one of the points of using Markdown is to make it easier to write stuff, and then you're still using HTML anyway. But regardless, go ahead and CP, because now we have CP-N. Command rename. Do I have no clobber for this? Do you mind any changes replace all / no override? Do it -O. Okay. So I want rename -O to not overwrite anything. .md to .svx. Everything.md. And then we remove everything that's .md because we already have those ones. And then we also remove index.svx because we don't need that one. And then we just go down the list. Toml to... Wait a minute, hold on. No, I can make a... Vim macro for this. Because it's all going to be the same anyway. So may as well do that. Okay, and then we have the headings, links, downloads, this. And then we have track list, which is new here. Track list. We have ID is track list. And text is track list. Track list with a capital L. Okay, and then hopefully this just works. I'm gonna go ahead and add this to our list of stuff. HMS Luminary, I think is what I called that. Flight of the HMS Luminary original soundtrack. We would probably want to get this done automatically. Would be nice. HMS Luminary album art. I actually am impressed that actually worked. Interesting. But if this works, then great. If it not, oh, there it is. Very good. And that works, and this works, and then this works as well. That does not work. Why? These do not have IDs. Because I didn't add them. H2. This is actually where it makes sense to do this. Because if this is going to be JSON, track list, and the reason I have to do it that way, where the ID and the text, or sorry, where the ID and this are different, is because if I were to do it like this, I would have to do it like this. Which is kind of inconvenient. And this is because the minus sign here is not a valid identifier character, which means this would actually be parsed as this, where it's headings.track minus list.id, which is not what you want. So we have to do it this way. Where do we still have data? That's not good. Headings, downloads. Yes. That should still work. And now that works properly. Very good. And then we just port over everything else. In our life, we already have looking back. We already have make it through. We already have mountain. We need to move over. Vim. What is it? Yeah, the Vim. Why am I blanking on words? Vim macros are pretty nice. Why do I need to wrap it in P's? I probably don't need to wrap it in P's. I already have the blank lines. Yeah, it would already be automatic. This is what I meant though. This should be what I'm putting in everything else. Because it is a date time. But ideally we get that from here, and this gets formatted by date fns or whatever date library I end up pulling in. Oh, it doesn't necessarily have to be a date library. I think the default date the default date object should be able to produce something like this. Maybe. But if I'm already going to be pulling in date fns for the schedule, I may as well just use it here too. Headings.downloads, and then we need to actually bring that in. So we're going to take this, I'm going to put that there. And then we're going to need to add mounts in there, but that's fine. We do all those after. Actually, I'm surprised we only need to go through these ones. I thought we had more. I think we do have more. It's just not, we don't have more pages for them. There will be one added soon-ish, I guess. We'll see if this one works. Headings, links. Headings, downloads. And I don't think I have any other headings here. Let me go ahead and copy this. And then we figure out the order here. I want this in... We should probably have this in reverse chronological order, shouldn't it? Probably. Because if you look back on this page, right? You look back on this page, you look at the top, you see nothing's changed. So you have to scroll all the way down to see the new stuff. So you want the newest things to be at the top. But for now, I will have this in chronological order, and then we can change it later. That would require me to know what order I have these in. Which I kind of should know. I know 2 is definitely the oldest. Then we have Make It Through. And then we have... Looking Back. This should probably get a page. And Looking Back, and then we have one step back. No, in your life, because this was an actual thing. It looks like the other improv videos, but this is an actual release. In your life, and then we have one step back. It's over here, which conveniently we have already loaded here, so we're just going to take that. One step back, two steps forwards. And then I think this was one step back. And then from there we have Flight of the HMS Luminary. Then we have Mountain. Then we have Mountain. I think that's it. Is that all there is? One step back, two steps forward, HMS Luminary. Maybe this should have been white. I'm looking at this, maybe this should have been white. I don't think it's too late to, no, it's too late to change things. Yeah, maybe this is fine. And then there's Mountain. That's not good. I need to fix that. Because the reason why I didn't do that is because I do actually need a P here. Is it because of this time here? That's probably why. Okay, so now we go ahead and check all the other ones, make sure they're okay. Flight of the HMS Luminary, we already looked at. One step back, two steps forward, also looks okay. Mountain, it doesn't have the CC BY because it isn't CC BY. This is not my song. Wish I could if I could, but I can't. Okay, I think that's everything else. Because in your life we already got one, and looking back we already got. Then make it through we already got, and then 2U we already got. Trust Luminary and the Mountain. This is good to go. Still not ready enough for release, I think. Because there's still some parity issues. For example, the table of contents that needs to be fixed, or styled at the very least. That's about it. Table of contents and the schedule. As you can see, this is extremely outdated. But apart from that, I think we're pretty close to parity. Because there isn't a whole lot on the existing site right now. There's this. Which, sure. I think we already have that. It looks the same. I do want to change this. I eventually want to get... So we recorded a channel intro. I haven't gotten around to finishing the channel intro yet. I still need to edit and stitch everything together. And I do want eventually some stuff down here. So that when you scroll, there's a little bit more about me. And a couple more pages as well. But as far as parody goes, we're almost there. Add migrate remaining music pages. HMS luminary. One step back. One step back. HMS luminary. And then mountain. The mountain's the last one. And actually already with this is going to be more than parity because it looks like this right now, which is not great. We're going to change the projects to music. So I think that better fits the words. Better fits the description, the title. And add -p. Yes. Change title of prod music page to music. Old title projects. Music better reflects what's on this page. Non-musical projects will be showcased on a different page. Non-musical projects such as this, such as Owl Fudge, maybe the Utah ones, but that might also get its own page. Did you know that we have an Utah voice bank? And we made a custom Utah voice bank. I still need to. The CV portion has been uploaded to GitHub. I still need to upload the rest of it. Penbu VT / Ponbo Tau. Ponbo. Yeah, I'm gonna go check that out. That's here. Yeah, still incomplete. Okay, now we can go ahead and reverse this because they should be in reverse chronological order. Now, the question is, what's the best way of doing this? I think yeah, we do this. And then we tack. Because that's an easy way to do that. Done. Aha. Tack being cat backwards, of course. So tack does whereas cat will output the file in order like normal, tack will reverse the lines in the file. Yeah, being able to call commands from Vim is very handy. In my opinion, you're not using the full power of Vim unless you shell out once in a while. Commit list music projects in reverse chronological order. This means newest items, newest releases are on top, which should catch the eye of any returning viewers. As it makes them easier to spot. As it makes the change easier to spot. Makes the addition easier to spot. Okay, well that's it for that page, I think. Should I expand this a little bit more? Maybe. I think it might make sense to do that. Because right now this is set to just a good reading length, but we don't need this to be reading length really. Because this could be 132 characters and it would still be okay. Content. Max width. Unfortunately, that is all the way up in the layer. No, it's all the way up in the layouts. How do I override that down here? Music. I might actually need to change this to be wide. How do I make this wide? How do I change this to be wide? How do I attach a class to the content here? Import snippets type. So I can say in the layout here, I just need to change actually. I'll link that 2026 later. Import page. Page.data.title. Oh wait, I'm already using page. So I can then do page.data.wide like this. So I can do class wide is equal to page.data.wide. If it is, then I can do content.wide is instead max width 132 ch, and in which case I can do inside of this file, wherever it is, I can find it. This file. Okay, something's wrong. Page.data.wide. Is this not how you do it? Oh no, because I put it on the wrong thing. It's not the main here, it's in the contents. So this should have stuff on it. Except it doesn't. Page.data.wide. We're gonna see if it actually shows up. It is true. Svelte classes. How do you do this? Because I thought it was going to be. I thought it was this, but maybe not. Policy values are stringified, though class is undefined. Is clause, yeah, sure. Class can be an object or an array and is converted to a string uses CLSX. The values and object truthy keys are added. If the value is an array, truthy values are combined. Note that wherever using the array or object form can set multiple classes simultaneously with a single condition, which is particularly useful if you're using things like Tailwind. Arrays can contain arrays and objects, and CLSX will flatten them. User, this component has the same flexibility to use a mixture of objects, arrays, and string. Svelte 5.9 also exposes class value type, which is type value class directive prior. Okay. So this was supposed to work. I don't know why it isn't working. Unless you're using an older version of Svelte, consider avoiding class since the attribute is more powerful and composable. Yeah, but also this is kind of convenient to use. Okay, no, but this makes sense. I think I have to do this, and then I have to do this. And wide is equal to page.data.wide. So I think the reason why I'm not seeing it is because you can't have a class. You can't have a class and then also a class directive like this. But alright, if this is idiomatic Svelte 5, then fine, we'll go with that. Just still not working. But we know this is true. But it's truthy. You should be able to collapse that, right? Content, it's true. Hello? Because my SAS is wrong. Okay, there we go. Go back. Go back to what you had before. Because this is a descendant selector. I need it to attach onto the actual, the current selector. Yeah, alright. Well, now the question is this class thing, this class directive deprecated? If it's deprecated, then I won't use it. If it's just discouraged, then I'm okay with using it. Prior to Svelte 5.16. It is still very convenient. Primitive values, objects and arrays. Class can be an object and an array converted to a string is CLX. Values and array. Truth and values are combined. Note that we're using array object for and set multiple classes simultaneously on a single condition, particularly useful if using things like Tailwind. Alright, we went over that one. User of this component has the same flexibility to use a mixture of objects, arrays, and strings. I mean, I suppose it's not... We go back. If we do this form, it's actually less... If we use this form, it's actually less wide than the other one. Because then we end up using class twice, I think. This is 52 characters. This is 53. Okay, maybe it's not less wide. It's slightly less in complexity. We'll go that way. I don't know. Why? What do you want? Unexpected token. That worked before. Okay, now it actually isn't. I don't know if I like this. I feel like I prefer this because it looks at least a little bit more composable. Or not composable, it's... I'm gonna do this. Because at least I can tell what this is, right? There's a lot of syntax noise with the other one, and this is fairly clear, so I'm gonna go with this one. As long as I haven't deprecated it, it should still be okay. And that doesn't work. This was working. It was working back before I obliterated this. Okay. There we go. I think that's what we want here. I want this wide because this is not text. Text should be kept this way so that it's easy to look at. There's a lot of stuff here. I don't really care that it's restricted. It actually looks better this way, so we're gonna keep this. It's very colorful. Okay, we get add -p. Add support for wide pages. Wide pages increase the surely there's another way of doing this instead. Wide pages increase the width of the main contents to be 132 ch instead of the text optimized 80 ch. So what I'm getting at here is maybe we want to be a little bit more symbolic instead and say the page type is text, page type is whatever else. I don't want to come up with names, so we're just going to say wide and not wide. Actually, you know what? Category pages should probably be non-text. Oh, it should probably be wide like this. This is a category page. Maybe that's how we delineate this. Then again, I don't know. But for now, wide is fine. Okay, last thing to do for today, we fix this. I don't know why the headers aren't exactly working. And it has to do with having upgraded to Svelte 5, something broke in the middle there. Which is exactly where we were before. Layout.svelte heads global roots header font family, because I think we definitely killed it somewhere. Lib glow font.css. This I know works because we're using Tiresias info font here. Actually, I don't know if it works because it's installed on my system or if it's because it's pulling it from the thing. So somebody else will probably have to check to make sure that it works. But otherwise, I think it probably does. So that's not the issue. And maybe I should call this Tiresias.css. A header font family. This is being imported with an @import, and it isn't working? Why not? Do I have to import libglobal.css like this? Apparently so. I don't like that. I don't like that, but if that's what it takes to do it, then I guess we'll do that. All these global styles should probably go into the global style sheet. Do I want these in global? No, that makes sense. I think it makes sense. Actually, you know what? This shouldn't even be in here. This should be in... here. Yeah, this should be in here. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move this over. Or not, because I kind of want the SAS math. I could turn this into a SAS file, which is probably the right move. So we're gonna remove global dot star. I do want to capture this. Oh, don't do that. Replace with just that. And then on roots, we have that. I'm going to use @sassmath here. Then order these in a way that makes sense. So this should probably be up there. So up there, H1s and stuff should probably be up here. We'll do that. And then sassmath is that. Move. Global.scss. So we have that. We take this. We actually don't need this anymore. Global.scss like this. And then that should just continue to work. Probably. And indeed it does, I think. This does look like it worked. I think. It looks like it worked. Because if you look at this, we do have that in degrees. I guess I can't really see that. We do have this calculated in degrees, which means that SAS did work. So I think this is correct. This is probably what we want here. Okay. Well, that's the headers fixed then. In that case, we have this, we have that. This looks a little bit iffy because this is pretty long. I may want to consider truncating it with a configurable number of lines is not actually standardized yet. Doesn't work properly. I remember this looking a little bit better, but sure. Add -p. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Git commit. Fix header fonts. Back to Tiresias. Move global styles into the standalone CSS files and imports them through the vt loader instead of through Sass imports, which didn't appear to work anyway. After migration to Svelte 5 for some reason. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Like I said, we're very close to parity. The only thing left to do is this. Style this. But I don't know if I want to do that tonight. I might end up doing this off. Should I put it off? Should I put it off? It's not even that hard. You basically add, I don't know, padding. Padding is 1 EM, for example. Give it a background, white, and border top. I don't know. We had a green, right? 1EX green solids. Yeah, like something like that. And that basically gets you what we have here. The only thing that's missing is the highlights for what you're on, but also I don't know if I care enough. Alright, I need to check the LSAO visualizer parameters. It should be fine. Should be fine. Yeah, there it is. The only thing that's missing is the styles, which we can put back. Actually, that I think is within scope of today's stream. We can put that back. Because I think I had styles here, right? Or no, the styles came from Penbu.css. Those are my styles. I don't know if I care enough right now. Yeah, so I can port over a couple other things. It looks like we're very close. I might end up doing this, I might not. Because it does seem like a little bit more of a lift than it appears at first. But it's not doable. Well, anyway, we're very close. I do expect we end up doing the Switch sometime this year. It might not be very soon, but like I said, we are very, very close to parity. And once we do the Switch, then I can start working on this instead of the other site. And we can have more stuff on it. And it'll be a little bit nicer to work in, I think. At the very least, I do like this new music page, so there's that. Alright, I think that's about it. I forgot to prep the next stream thumbnail. Let me go do that first. Because we do have a special stream coming up next week. Or sorry, not next week, tomorrow. It's gonna be tomorrow, not next week. This one. We're going to be having a collab where Manako Ray, Rika Yamano, and a random guy, and me, we are going to be playing Mahjong tomorrow, but at the same time playing Tetrio. And we have a whole scoring system that combines both of them, so we have to play both of them with more or less equal effort. So this is going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of multitasking, and we'll see how we handle it, because not only are we multitasking, but we're also streaming, so we have the streaming debuff. It's a lot to handle. But yeah, both games require almost your full attention. There are some times where you have a bit of a break, which means you can focus on the other game. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. So do check out that tomorrow. That's going to be at 7 o'clock tomorrow, Eastern, instead of the usual 7:30. So be there half an hour earlier. Yeah, I think that's about it. Those of you not in Discord, if you didn't catch it earlier, we do have Discord. We do this we do have a channel for programming, and also, I guess now that we mentioned it, Tetris and Mahjong. So if you're any interested in any of those, do check that out. And then, for anyone new here, my name is Penbu. I'm the programming, puzzle gaming, and music making VTuber on Linux. Today we fixed up the Markdown system with the new website. Website is still not going to be published just yet, but we are very close. We're very, with today's work, we have almost reached parity with the old site. So very exciting. Oh wait, Twitch, stick around, we're gonna find somebody to raid. I have somebody in mind, but if I find somebody who might be more suitable, I might switch over to going there instead. YouTube, if the person I find is dual streaming, I will also send you there, otherwise we'll call it a night. And with that, I think that's about it. Thank you all for coming. Hope you were productive or you learned something. And we'll see you next time. Alright, bye. Alright, I actually did manage to find someone, so I'm going to give a shout out to the person that I was going to raid. I was going to raid Rika because she is streaming right now, and we're going to be seeing her tomorrow. But also because we're seeing her tomorrow, I feel like we can skip out on raiding her today. But yeah, if you want to go watch Rika, she is there. YouTube, the person I found actually is dual streaming. I think YouTube stream might be a little bit stopped right now. Not sure what's happening, but hopefully that'll go back up soon. Midori, Megane Midori, coding maid VTuber. Never seen her before, but looks interesting. Working on TypeScript, which is what we were working on before. She's doing leak code. Although it looks like she has Selenium on her screen right now. Selenium being some automation software for testing. It's basically a way to test stuff in the browser, but automatically. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and raid Midori here. This is the right message. If you'd like to participate, you can go ahead and copy that, paste it in when we get there. Oh yeah. There's a Windows XP overlay. We have a Windows 98 overlay, so it's a, you know, a little bit interesting there. Anyway, that's it. Thank you all for coming. Watch out for the collab tomorrow. Remember, half an hour earlier. And with that, I'll bid you good night. Bye.